What's up? We are live at 5 here from Broadway.com. It is Tuesday, June 18th. Beth, it's almost the 4th of July.
Sort of.
I'm Paul Wontorek.
I'm Beth Stevens.
And we're joined by Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello.
And OMG, a fantastic favorite is here today. Who is our guest, Beth?
Shoshana Bean is here from Waitress.
God, we've known her for a long time.
We have.
But she's back on Broadway slaying it.
Better than ever. Better
for a few more
than
weeks.
Ever.
We're going to talk all about that. But first, today's top 5.
This off-Broadway favorite is heading to the Great White Way.
Guess what? We have good news today.
Yeah.
Really good news. Girl from the North Country is coming to Broadway. I'm so excited. Caitlin's freaking out over there.
Wait, you guys both saw it?
We
I
saw
didn't
it.
get to see it. I couldn't get in.
It was amazing.
Well, we got in. We did it.
I know. I heard it was great.
It was at the Public Theater. It was first at the Old Vic in London, then it went to the West End.
Right.
This is the Bob Dylan musical, written and directed by Tony nominee Conor McPherson. It's heading to the Belasco Theater on February 7th, 2020. It feels very far away. Opening night is set for March 5th. We don't have casting yet, but let me tell you who's in it off-Broadway. Mark Kudish, Mare Winningham, Stephen Bogardus, David Pittu, Caitlin Houlihan, am I saying that correctly? Colton Ryan, Todd Allman, Sidney James Harcourt, who nailed it, Luba Mason, and more. It is such a good show. It takes place in Duluth, Minnesota during the Depression, but don't let that depress you. It's really good.
Mark Kudish was here talking about it with you.
He was here, but he didn't say it was going to Broadway because he wasn't sure yet.
But I will guarantee Mark Kudish will not let anyone else have that role. Mark Kudish will be in it. I'm just going to say it.
Okay, unofficially, Mark
it's
Kudish.
not official. No. He has to sign a contract and everything. I hope he's in it.
And a newcomer is stepping into the shoes of Christine on the Phantom Tour.
Hey, her name is Emma Grimsley. I like that name. She's been understudying for 2 years the role of Christine in the Phantom of the Opera National Tour, and she's going to get to take over the role from Eva Tavares starting August 7th in Honolulu.
Hey,
I want to be in Honolulu.
That's a good place to start.
Yeah, sure, why not? At the Blaisdell Concert Hall, and she's a newcomer. We don't know her. I hope she comes someday. She'll be sitting here.
Probably.
I don't know. Derek Davis is currently playing the Phantom, and Jordan Craig is playing Raoul.
And this Broadway favorite play is getting another screen adaptation, another movie.
We're talking about Noel Coward's Blithe Spirit. And it stars Judi Dench, and it's a movie. Why are you looking at me like that?
That's the whole story.
That's straight. Well, no, there's more. There's more.
Okay.
She's joined by Dan Stevens of Downton Abbey fame, Isla Fisher, and Leslie Mann. Look, do you know what Blithe Spirit's about? I'm not going to tell you what
Is
Blithe
it about
Spirit's
ghosts?
Yeah. Madame Arcadi, that's Dench. She does the, she's a medium. First, you're making me laugh. Let me tell you a little tidbit here. It's directed by Edward Hall, who was recently the artistic director of the Hampstead Theatre in London. Very fancy man. It's his movie directorial debut.
Wow.
But his father, Peter Hall, directed Judi Dench in Hay Fever. What? See, I just gave you some information. Okay, it doesn't matter. Anyway,
I don't know what that one's about.
I don't.
And then there's Arsenic and Old Lace.
That's not related. That's not related.
When is Arsenic and Old Lace going to come back?
Probably soon.
Patti LuPone and Betty Buckley in Arsenic and Old Lace. Sorry.
This is like the fake news sphere of live. Anyway, Blithe Spirit will be in cinemas, because we like to say it British style, in 2020.
And a lot of our faves, including one sitting in this room, is joining some other faves in an exciting concert.
Yeah, Beth Stevens is going to sing next week. No, actually, Shoshana Bean, who you'll be seeing in a few moments on camera. Shoshana Bean, Joshua Henry, Rob McClure, and Katrina Lenk are all joining. This is a crazy night. Jason Robert Brown and Stephen Sondheim. Yeah, it's going to be nuts. It's at Town Hall on Monday, I believe, at 8 o'clock, June 24th. And it is the 50th performance. You know, Jason Robert Brown does these concerts at Subculture, and Shoshana Bean is a regular Jason Robert Brown collaborator. I saw them at 54 Below years ago. So yeah, she's a regular. And she's joining them, and this is a special night. I mean, Sondheim and Jason Robert Brown together. It's crazy.
Finally.
All proceeds will be donated to the gun violence prevention organization, Brady, and this is something that Jason Robert Brown often raises money for. So it's going to be quite a night.
And this is the War Paint reunion that we never knew we needed until now.
There were a lot of people in war paint, but We're talking about
two
Patti
main people.
LuPone and Christine Ebersol have signed on.
Are they doing arsenic and old lace? Sorry.
Patti LuPone is going to walk in here with a gun and shoot you.
Oh,
Christine
Brady.
Ebersol and Patti LuPone are going to take part in the Cartoon Network's upcoming full-length musical feature, Steven Universe of Arsenic and Old Lace, says Shoshana Bean. That is not correct. Of Steven Universe, the movie.
What does that mean?
I have
Is that a
no
show?
idea.
Is that a show?
It's a show.
It's a show.
Yeah.
It's a show.
a thing.
Cartoon.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's an animated show.
They were in Warpaint. They played Helena Rubinstein and Elizabeth Arden. You already
know.
knew that. They're joined by Uzo Aduba, Chance the Rapper, lots of fancy people. Music laced, this says. It's music laced. It's just a musical. We'll follow Steven, voiced by Zach Callison, who thinks his time defending the earth has come to an end, but soon a new threat comes to Beach City. They don't say if it's Christine or Patti. And he faces his biggest challenge, probably Patti, so far. Scheduled to debut this fall. These are my favorite people. I want to hear them sing their faces off
You're
in a
not going to
cartoon.
see them, though. You're just going to hear them.
I just want to hear them.
That's
Enunciate.
enough?
That's all I need.
Also, we have video and photos of Vanessa Carlton. Hey, she's joining the cast of Beautiful,
The Carole King musical. Thank you.
Ain't Too Proud, colon.
Life and Times of the Temptations.
Sorry.
We love the colon.
So there's some footage of her singing It's Too Late.
Great.
That's not really how you say it.
No.
But it's fantastic. And she joins the cast. You interviewed her.
Yeah. Oh, she was
Right?
so nice.
How was
yeah.
she? Yeah?
She's delightful. You guys will see that interview tomorrow. It's gonna be so good.
Oh,
She's
I love
great.
that
little
teaser.
tease.
Do you want to do a little? You're dancing to the music. We need to get Shoshana up
Yeah,
here.
Beth, we're
That's
a
what we need to
popular
do.
person. We need to get
Yeah,
in
I
that
gotta
seat.
get
So
outta here.
Thank you
Thank you all
for joining
That
us.
was fun.
Caitlin, thanks for the applause, Shoshana. Caitlin, why don't you tell everyone about today's guest?
Gladly. Yes, today we have Miss Shoshana Bean with us in the studio. She is currently playing Jenna in Waitress on Broadway. This marks her return to Broadway since she was last seen in Wicked as the Green Girl Elphaba. She's released a ton of albums. You guys know her from her incredible solo concert. She's been all over the world. She's incredible. Follow her on social media at ShowBean. Make sure you like all of her stuff, leave a bunch of comments, leave all of your questions in the comments below. And please welcome Shoshana and Paul.
Thank you, Caitlin. Oh.
This audience you have is
Yeah, it's a good audience.
lovely.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I feel like this interview could go in so many directions, but let's just start with the basic. How the heck is it to be back on Broadway?
Oh my gosh, let's start with the biggest question and the longest answer. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's been
A minute.
It's been a couple of minutes, yes. It's mostly just been lovely to be, I'm going to say received back into the community, but really the way that it's felt to be here is like I never left, which has been a really strange feeling for me because I was gone for so long, but no one seems to have missed a beat, and everyone has been so lovely and gracious and generous, and being back on stage 8 times a week is awesome. The same therapy it ever was. This show and this cast and this role have taught me even more about myself, made me a better performer, a better person. Yeah, I mean, I could go on and on about the gifts that have been received in the past couple of months.
I love it. I love it because, we were kind of like, is Shoshana Bean going to come back? I mean, you looked really cozy in California.
I am very cozy.
California life, making albums that were big, big smashes. I mean, Spectrum, that was sort of a really big moment, your last one, right? You got the top the jazz charts,
Yeah.
right? Yes. Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing. And by the way, you can get it on vinyl on your website. I got to get
They're
one
all
of those
gone,
vinyls.
so
It's a very pretty picture on the
no,
front, too.
no more vinyls.
Oh.
They're all gone.
Never mind. eBay. So you and you have done you've done the Wicked since you did the Wicked on Broadway, but you've kind of I didn't know how interested you were in doing a Broadway show.
It wasn't always a matter of interest necessarily. It's just like, I just think it's really hard after you do something like Elphaba. It's just like, where do you go from there?
Right.
And, a big part of me just was really ready to focus all of my energy and attention on just making records and touring and doing all of that. But within the past couple of years, with Beaches and doing Funny
Yep.
Girl at North Shore, and I just kind of realized like it doesn't have to be so black and white. But as far as coming back, I don't know what else it would have been besides this opportunity. I mean, it all happened really fast. And when the offer came in, it wasn't something I had even thought about or expected. And it just was a very fast decision because it just felt right and sounded right. And I think that's where I've come to land, is like decisions will be made based on what just feels right. There's no like, I won't or I will only or, anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Well, I'm sure people like me who first fell in love with you when I saw Godspell, like in
Oh
some,
my
like,
God.
it was like in some office building. Wasn't it? Did I see it?
It
Like
was.
in some,
You came to 34th Street?
I saw that. Was that like the early?
Yeah.
I saw that. And
That
I was
was-
like, who is she? Did she have a fur?
My
Was it like
Adidas
a fur? Do
sweatsuit.
I remember a fur?
The coat. Yeah, the coat
Yeah, the
was
coat.
great.
Yeah,
But
I remember it's
yeah.
very distinct.
An Adidas
I was like, well,
sweatsuit, I
she can
felt
sing.
that
Look at her. So obviously there are these people that knew and loved your work back then. And then I'm sure now, though, I feel like you've almost become like this name that the younger kids know, and they know your voice, but they haven't really seen you, right? I feel like there's this new generation of kids who are probably like, Shoshana Bean, it's a real person. She's fantastic. And are you experiencing that at the stage door, and sort of new people and people who are like, thank you for coming back? And
it's a combo of that. It's people who are like, I saw you in Wicked, and people who bring their Godspell
by the way,
CDs.
you were fantastic in Wicked.
That's very
you
kind.
were the first cover. I mean, you took over. Well, Eden Espinosa covered, right?
Yes,
and you
yes,
took
yes.
over the
She's a
role
standby. Yeah, yeah.
officially.
I replaced
These are all
Eden.
legendary Elphabas we're talking about here. And I remember like when Adina hurt herself, that famous night. I remember that was you were there.
Awful,
And,
yep.
Yeah, and then you ended up taking over the role, and you were so good in that role.
Well, thank you,
like
Paul.
you're not just one of the Elphabas. Like you were fantastic as Elphaba.
Thank you.
So,
That's very sweet.
but it is kind of legendary, and these performances, these Elphaba fans, it lives on also with like YouTube, right? And there's all sorts
Right.
of like people get bits of it. And you sing the
Yeah.
songs, and
Sometimes,
you
yeah.
you give them. Is that when you do a concert? Do you have to? I know you do so much original music.
Yeah,
and so much
I
of it is
try not
fantastic.
to do.
So you
thank
kind of do like one or the other, right? You either like we're doing.
What does
the,
that mean?
Sorry.
What's
Sorry.
happening?
My phone. I didn't turn my phone
I
off.
feel like that was a sign. Let's talk about something else.
Patty LaPone's gonna come in. I'm sorry.
Arsenic and Old Lace is happening. That is a producer calling you. What was the question?
I don't
was
know.
trying to
I just want to talk
divert.
about how good you were as Elphaba.
Bless you. Thank you.
No, but you do so much original music.
Yeah.
And sometimes people love, Broadway fans love to like, it really takes a lot. I think I give you a lot of credit that people actually will come see you just do your original music because it's that good. They don't just want to hear you like sprinkle in, you know what I mean? Like, well, okay, well now sing Defying Gravity. You know, it's not that.
Well, thank you. I think the sort of moment where I realized, again, with the not being so black and white about everything, was I played the Apollo last summer for the Spectrum album release in New York. And we sold that place out. And when I walked out on stage and the way, the vibe in the room, I was like, this isn't just about my albums. This isn't just about Wicked. This is literally about 20 years of like being in this city and all of the work. And I think that was just something I had to slowly come to, was like, you can do. And again, it's different now. When I first got here and I first met you, and like, you weren't really allowed or encouraged to do multiple things.
Yeah.
You're either on stage. If you're on Broadway, you weren't typically really, exciting to the record labels. It just wasn't.
Right.
And now it's like the more you do, the more exciting you are to people. So it's just kind of been a shift and a retraining, and it's just a different time.
Did I see you tease over the weekend that you might be doing something with Cynthia Erivo again?
Yeah.
Because that was you did a big holiday
Just
concert.
save the date. Just save the date.
Save the date.
That's all I'll say.
What are we doing? We're all going out to dinner? What's happening on that date? Is there going to
Save
be
the
a
date.
show?
Just
or?
make sure you don't schedule anything else or buy tickets to anything else.
What's the date?
12/16.
That's December
That's just
16th.
the
yes.
12th month of the year, 2019. This December 16th, it will be here in New York City. It will be something you will save the date.
Okay. So how did you...
We are getting married.
I'm so excited for you too. So how did you and Cynthia start this friendship and collaboration?
We met, as most people do, through Scott Allen. 4, 5, 6, many years ago,
Okay.
back in London, at one of his concerts. She had just finished Color Purple,
Okay.
or was finishing up Color Purple at the Chocolate Factory.
Right. Before she
Chocolate
became
Factory.
a Tony-winning
Before she
phenomenon.
brought
Right,
it here and
before.
became
You
the
knew her
Cynthia
then.
Erivo that you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we met back then and we stayed in touch, and then, we just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So talk about Jason Robert Brown, because you are doing this on a night off.
Yeah.
I guess this is sort of a big one. You've done a lot of things with Jason.
I'll do anything for Jason. If he said, come on your night off and just sing through my catalog in my living room, just the two of us, I would do that.
Yeah.
It's not...
Would you come to my living room and sing through his catalog?
Yeah,
What are the rules here?
For you, yes.
Okay.
For some random
Good to
person
know.
on the street,
Good to
no.
know. I'm gonna
You and I
keep that in my back pocket.
A lot of history, I would do that, absolutely. So, yeah, I'd do anything for Jason. And I think that as a singer, and not just a singer, but a storyteller, material like the way Jason feels in my body, on my body, in my voice, it just doesn't happen that often. So, and not only that, he has become, my family, a dear friend, and yeah, I would do anything for him. And I love mostly the moments where we get to be on stage together, sing and play together, which is what is happening on Monday night. So,
But did you know that Stephen Sondheim will be there?
I
as well?
do know that, and
Do you have any history with Stephen Sondheim?
not personally. No, we've met once or twice, just in passing at events or whatever.
Right.
But his work is so. I mean, it was so much the foundation of my formative years in learning musical theater repertoire. And I've never had the good fortune of working on a piece of his, or really even performing his music, just even in concert. Because to me, it's like he's like the Bible of musical theater.
Right.
I used to have just lines from his music plastered on my wall, lyrics of his, because if musical theater were a religion, he wrote the Bible. Like,
Can you think of
that's probably blasphemy to like Rodgers and Hammerstein, but like, see what's
but
on.
Can you think of a Sondheim role maybe that you would like to play that sort of
Oh,
surprise
The Baker's
everyone?
Wife.
Oh, Baker's Wife. That's Into the Woods, by the way. It's being produced all over the country this summer. I keep hearing about another Into the Woods production.
And then I just saw the production of help me.
That one. There's always a
I'm
Sondheim
gonna say
production.
Follies, but it's not Follies. Bobby, baby, Bobby.
Company.
That's the one.
Company.
Thank you.
Oh, in London.
In London, which
Yeah.
blew my mind.
Would you like
And-
to play Bobby B-O-B-B-I?
No, I want to be Patti LuPone in
Oh, you want to be Patty LuPone?
many years from now. I want to lunch with the ladies.
Yeah, her name is Joanne.
That's the one.
Joanne. Put that on the list. That'll be like a fun thing. Like, down the road.
Yeah, later.
Yeah,
like
Patty
in
can do
5
it
years
now.
from now.
So what do you love about Waitress? Obviously, the score. You came in here and performed that beautiful song for ClubBroadway.com. Look it up. That's a great video. I've listened to that a lot. What do you love about it? What do you think really speaks to you?
Don't I love about it? Obviously, the score is. I always compare her to Jason in the sense of like every night I discover or hear something new. It's not a score that you can easily tire of. It's
Sarah
just
Bareilles is her
yes,
name.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Did you know her before?
No, we hadn't
Yeah.
met until my first day of rehearsal.
Cool.
So what do I love about the show? The score. I love the people from the top down. From Sarah and Diane and Lauren Lataro, who's the creative team, and then Nadia, the music director, the cast, everyone. It's been one of the most, with the exception of Hairspray, of course, which is like my family. This has been one of the most joyous theatrical experiences I've ever had. I love the character. I love the book. It's so human. There's nothing like, I never felt like that I was looking at the piece like, okay, how am I gonna approach this, or how do I justify this, or how do I not feel eggy when I say this line, or whatever. Everything just felt so human. She felt so familiar to me, and I feel like it's been a gift for me to not necessarily lead with my strengths in this role, if that makes sense. It's challenged me to be more vulnerable on stage and in life. It's challenged me to, this is going to sound weird, but work less hard. I think every role I've ever been gifted has been like a very big undertaking, physically, emotionally, a big sing. And this one, the effort for me has been in doing less. And actually, Harvey Fierstein.
I like last
I knew
names.
you were going to
I want them to know who you're.
No, it's good. I feel like we're like, you know what I mean, in your living room. So I'm
Got
like, you know,
it.
Harv. Harv came to the show early on in my run.
Are you going to
and-
impersonate him when you say what he said?
No, I can't.
Okay,
I mean,
okay, forget it.
that's
We won't
not
do
a gift
that.
I have. the first thing I said was like, oh, I'm missing a laugh here and I'm missing a laugh here. And he was like, Cookie. That's all I got.
Thank you. Okay.
He was like, Cookie, it's not your job. It's not your job to make people laugh. It's not your job. He said, you are the axis. These other characters are the big characters. He's like, just be a human. And you don't have to show us everything you're feeling and you don't have to do the work for us. Like, just live through it, be present with the people around you and just be as human as you can be. And he kind of gave me the permission to, like, you know, not feel like I have to effort through everything.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, what's not to love? I love walking into that building every day. I love the cast of characters on and off stage. Have made some beautiful friendships, have been gifted some glorious co-stars. And yeah, I mean, I could go on and on.
Yeah. Speaking of Hairspray, didn't I actually see you play Tracy Turnblad opposite Harvey Firestein
Did you
once?
really?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah, I think I ran from the office. I heard that you were on. I think there was padding involved.
Yes,
They used to pad
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Leslie Kritzer too. Didn't
Yeah,
she cover
came,
it too?
I think she came in after me. Did she replace me?
Yeah, I think that sounds right. Yeah, but you
Yeah.
actually did play Tracy.
Yes,
Yeah.
I loved playing Tracy. That was the most fun. Yeah. I understudied Velma and Prudy too. So there were some weeks
What a
where I would
range.
be all of them.
What a range.
I know. Velma was my favorite though, those costumes and that blonde wig.
Yeah, you can still play that.
Yeah. Now maybe more appropriately than in my 20s.
Hey, Caitlin.
Yes.
What are the people online saying?
We have so many questions. So first question is Alexandra wants to know, what do you hope audiences will be thinking about in their car as they drive home after seeing Waitress?
Oh, I just got chills all over my body.
Or on the subway.
On the subway, yes.
Or walking.
Or walking.
What do I hope they're thinking about? I always hope when I go out on stage every night and I sort of summon Jenna into me, I'm just hoping that in some way they receive some type of healing, or in some way there has been a mirror held up to them. I think that these beautiful characters in this show, there's gonna be something up there where you see yourself in a small way or a large way, in a very literal way, in a more sort of metaphoric way. But I just hope that we're able to show people themselves and give them the opportunity to heal something. Yeah, what those specifics are that they're thinking about is irrelevant to me, as long as some window has been opened.
Nice. I love it.
Beautiful. So where did it?
I want one of those mugs.
Oh, okay. We'll get you
Yeah,
one.
that's fine. Yeah.
No problem.
Get it. So Zach wants to know
Branding.
that as you've gone through, you know, different Palmeters and Ogies and Dawns, how has your Jenna kind of transformed as you have different people cast changes?
How has it not? I mean, it's actually a really good challenge. At first, I was scared and a little frustrated because it's such for me, it has been so vulnerable, and you trust the people that you've started to work with, and then you sort of get ripped from their arms and thrown into someone else's. And it's the more flexible and sort of open I've remained, then the more I'm learning about myself, and it deepens my Jenna. It brings other colors into the palette. So it's been crazy, but really ultimately like a great gift. And every single person that's come and gone have brought their own magical gifts to the table, and they've all been so special and unique. And the friendships on and off stage that we've formed have been special and unique in their own way. So I wouldn't really trade any of it.
Have you ever been a waitress?
Yeah, well, yes and no. I mostly hosted because I really wasn't strong enough. Like, because in New York City, when you work in restaurants,
Yeah.
which I did, you want to work at the fancier ones because you'll get better
money.
tips.
Yeah.
And I just was never solid enough. I was working at the type of place where you had to serve the bread roll with the fork and the spoon. Like it was like French serve or whatever.
Yeah, you can
like,
just grab the roll.
no,
out of the,
we serve
you
it
do
to you, but we do it with this. Why we didn't just use tongs? No, you have to do it with the fork and the spoon, and you make the tong. It's like chopsticks.
So you were the
but, like,
bread girl? You had to bring the bread?
no, but that's like one of the things that a server does. And I would drop the roll.
too
I mean,
much.
like
Got it.
so they were like, you're going to be a barista and you'll also bust the tables. So yeah, I was never strong enough to be, and also like my tolerance level and patience with like human beings at that time in my life, it wasn't, yeah.
You would start fights.
I just would like shut down because yeah, Yeah, because the customer's always right, but
It would not be a
I
good
didn't
thing.
have
The
the
customer's
grace.
not always right. We know that.
That's hilarious. All right, we can do one last question that actually ties in with this. Is Jenny wants to know if you could waitress at any restaurant, what restaurant would you want to be a waitress at?
Sammy's Romanian Steakhouse. No question. If you've ever been there, you know exactly why. The vodka is flowing. That guy, what's his name? Like, he's playing like bar mitzvah tunes on his Casio with like also playing along to the karaoke track. It's fantastic.
I've never been there.
We'll go.
Okay.
You need to go with a Jew.
Oh, okay.
It's like,
Okay. Oh, great.
oh yeah, that's
Okay.
the one. No question.
Okay, it's a date. So you're in Waitress. I almost said War Paint.
That
I
too.
looked at my paper.
That's our
Through
future.
July 7th, is that
Yes,
right?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
so a couple more weeks, and then what do you do immediately after? Do you like sleep? Or?
I'll probably stay for a week or so and see a bunch of shows. I wasn't able to see anything because I got here and launched right into the process, but I'll stay for a little bit. And then, everybody has country houses now here.
Oh, yeah.
So I need to visit a couple of the
So
country
you're gonna
houses.
book a few. You're gonna line them up. A few of the country houses.
Yes, I'll bounce around from country house.
And then
I'll
you're
just
gonna go back to LA?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then hopefully come back at some point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring me back.
Okay, good. I'm into it. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
So
Thank you
good
for
to see
having
you.
me. I love
Hey,
you.
Caitlin, I love you too. Why don't you take us out?
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live at 5 every single weekday here on Facebook. You can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts by searching for hashtag live at 5 and hitting that subscribe button. Be sure to tune in tomorrow when we talk to Olivia Valli of Jersey Boys. Yes, that Olivia Valli.